Welcome everybody, this is Evelyn. This is my Metatron deck read. It's a channeled read, and I wanted to bring it to you by itself again today because there's some important information coming up again. Before I started, I was listening to Z Erstar. You can, tune into her channel if you want to check her out. She has some amazing energy. It's interesting. She's 28, and so is Elizabeth April. I feel like they're the kind of timeline of the warrior younger starseeds coming in. But also it reminded me to remind you guys about Ascension Glossary, which is Lisa Renee. There's a ton of information on that website about Ascension. So if you've never been there before, you must go there. Ascension Glossary, as well as what is your other ones? Energy Synthesis. I'm trying to remember what the name is. I know I wrote it down. I might come across it. But anyway, she was talking about some information that she had received from her channeling, and then she had double-checked it on Ascension Glossary, which is kind of the same energy that I deal with, right? So I'll get downloads to go to a certain site. Like I don't usually read other sites, but I'll get a download that will tell me to go somewhere to look something up, to confirm something. And she was talking about doing the same thing. So she was talking about the Luna or moon chain lineage, which is on Ascension Glossary, but that's a term that she had gotten on her own, and about the sexual misery programming. And so some of this stuff was coming up regarding that. And today is the 9th of January. The 9 is the Hermit. The day adds up to the 16, which is the Tower. So sudden events, sudden epiphanies. And the Tower can represent sexual exchange as well. And of course, the Hermit's all about going within. So it's more of that epiphany type of energy with the Tower today. So the underlying energy from this read, the bottom of the deck was the chakra card. The way I lay these cards out is the underlying energy there. This is the bottom of the deck, and I go 3 down. And then it goes in order across as I deal the cards here. And then over here is kind of like the conclusion. And then these cards, usually it's 3, but sometimes I'll be guided to deal more depending on how the card ends. And you can see how these very much go together. So that's how it's dealt. And this is what it said. The underlying energy, again, was the chakra system. You see this card. I see these two very much as the Mary Magdalene light body energy, and then this is the divine masculine of the Christ golden gate energy. And this is them side by side like the twins, and this is literally the 28 card of the electromagnetic grid in this deck. So it's literally the 2 gate holders of the grid, okay? And then their humanness as well. So the colors that came up here were orange, well, red and orange of the lower chakra system, and then blue, lilac, white, and silver of the upper chakra system. So the colors that weren't really represented here today were yellow and green, which is important to look at. So we're looking at the 2 polarities as opposed to the middle. And air was the only element that came up. So very much about the air that we breathe. And of course, that has to do with communication as well. And the first card out was blue of mothering. And this blue card at the top here is, there's an indigo card too, but in this deck you can see that card is very much indigo as well. So for me it more represents from the throat to the third eye energies of the mothering and their loving voice. So that was the first card out. And yeah, I was getting also with the Mary Magdalene, the divine feminine energy here, chicken came up. So I don't know if someone's afraid to do something, but that was just a channeling that came right in when I dealt that card. So that might be a specific message for someone as well. And again, there were 24 cards dealt today as opposed to the 21, which is my usual. And 24 is that Omega energy that came up yesterday, as well as the Queen of Wands, which comes up right here in this deck as the stretching the physical body energy. Whereas this is more the Queen of Cups, which is the number here, 38, of the light body. And you see the underlying energy of the baby in the heart, birthing the heart. So those three things were very much in focus as heart health, physical body health, and then light body health. So we start out also with pain. Are you feeling any pains in your heart? Maybe you're getting a download and that's why you're having some chest pain. Maybe you ate something that your body doesn't like, so it's telling you, please don't eat that anymore. So birthing the new heart, as the Page of Cups is pure innocent love, the umbilical cord of the twin plugged into the heart. The Queen of Wands with orange and stretching, connecting and attuning, feeds this birthing of the heart through the chakra system of the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Wands coming up here as the physical body, the Queen of Cups as the light body, and the Page of Cups as that pure innocent heart. So the first card coming out was the blue of the mothering, being very present, holding space with gifts in the now moment for the heart health, the physical body health, and the light body health. And maybe you're clearing, and remember that burps and yawns and all of those things, not just crying, are purges. The air and the diamond light of transition and flying free to speak your crown's song, not just the song, but all the colors in between, like the wind beneath your wings, the castle on a cloud or the Milky Way, the magic queendom of the Page of Swords' message of the purple moon, that place from dark to light, the ring around the rose line, the pocket full of poses and porn line, which is coming up as the sexual misery programming. With ashes to ashes, we all fall down, right? So ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posy, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Only here it's coming up as the rose line and the pocket full of porn, which is distorting our energy. The sexual misery programming enticing our children away from the purity of the rose line to porn and promiscuous behavior. So go to Ascension Glossary, and here's where I wrote it down. Energetic Synthesis is her other site. At 11:30, which is Justice and the Union of the Four of Wands, the Mother Ark and the Father Steeple or Castle, the Bridge and the Station. She stretches, he grounds the muscle. The Moon Chain Lunar Histories is what she was talking about. The lineages of NAA on Earth, and this is from Ascension Glossary. The main center is the NRG Network's central hub in the UK. The abuse and trauma fractures here is literally causing the human to live with fragments of themselves outside of themselves. So when you get traumatized, you close the heart, and wherever those fractured pieces lie in other dimensions, even in other lifetimes, may get stuck there without being able to infiltrate, because you have to get back in there to get it out. It's like you can't just remove it, you have to get it out from going within, just like we do here. And again, I'm blanking out on who it is. I'll let you know it. There's, I'm just blanking out on his name. You know how that happens sometimes. So let me just see if I see his name here real quick. I know him, I just am blanking out on his name. My brain doesn't always work quite right. Let's see here. Or maybe it does. So, oh yeah, Damien Wynn, okay. So for those of you who don't know me, I was jogging and I got hit by a car back in 2016. So sometimes I really struggle with simple words, and that's why. I'm not dumb, and I just want you to understand why I may struggle so much, so you're more clear about it. So Damien does a lot of that energy work with retrieving fractured pieces of the soul. So check him out. You might actually really like his energy. He's a wonderful healer. So the energy of the sexual misery program and never being able to fully integrate back into self and be fully coherent, which Damien uses that word a lot, some of the energies around that. You can read that definition in Ascension Glossary as well. I don't want to go too much into that. But she lists words as schizoid and narcissism and personality disorders related to this fracturing of the soul. So once fragmented, you're very easy to control or possess, and thus the fear programming. The mother energy is very much needed here to help the children and the inner children, your inner child, heal their trauma in order to get your message out. By the way, this read started at 11:01 if you're curious. The 11 of alignment and the 1 of the magician, going from the 0 energy of the source energy into the 1 of the new. So the wake-up call of that 11 to align, listen, and note, or sing the song and each tone. It's like the one and the all. That you are the message in a bottle, remember, ripe to be opened, where the land meets sea, meets sky, meets I, the I am, the root of the earth and the crown of the sky, and the river that runs through it to intuit, through energy centers, through valves and stations, or in other words, a push, a fill up at the gas station to keep you going. On the road of life from sacral to the golden gate and back, life begins in the sacral and ends at the crown lifting off, the one you've worn since the day you were born, and you were crowned and peaked at 11:47 to 48, which 47 is the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Cups, which is the synchronicities, signs and synchronicities, and choices or confusion, feeling like you're going crazy, but then the 48 of walking away and going within. The orange wings of the hips, where the sacral energy is in the womb, the golden wings of the etheric realms, and the journeying on through the red light, green light, until the red to yellow chakra energy centers clear, and it's all green lights, and it's a go. All from the heart at 11:50, which is justice and the 10 of Cups of emotional fulfillment. The pure white of innocence. Coming up here is the King of Swords and the angel white wings and the diamond light and Metatron's inspirational rainbow bridge. Remember that the rainbow is white light. All of the colors are white. The rainbow bridge, the wind beneath their wings to get there, and ancestors then reflecting compassion in the mother arc back in energetic exchange of appreciation and healing. The inspiration of the pure divine masculine, the collective Metatron, weaves with the energetic exchange of the family lineage of compassion, your ancestors, and the divine feminine mother arc, ebbing and flowing to the golden gate and back, bringing compassion to the divine masculine and the electromagnetic grid at 11:57, which is justice and the 3 of Swords, and that broken heart, and those with conditions of love. So bringing that compassion back after visiting the golden gate through your ancestors and your future ancestors to those in need of it, which is that divine masculine, the electromagnetic grid, which is the collective, and then those individuals with conditions of love in order to help them heal the trauma. The individual is the rainbow bridge, and the return is the collective compassion from the winged tree of life. The white rainbow, remember that the rainbow is white because all colors become white, or that very soft purple, and the pink golden hue then that comes up of that Christ golden consciousness of compassion with purification of the white and compassion of the hue in a do-si-do dance, or in other words, purification and compassion is being PC. From the 38 of the Queen of Cups, Mary Magdalene Sophia, light body, traveling up to the Golden Gate station of the 2 pillars, 2 wings, and 2 flames, and Jesus Christ, the monkey, in the middle, as the golden white, compassionate light meets the rainbow bridge, like the T in the road. It's like the chakra system meeting the crown, or Akashic records. The same T is the in a physical sense is like the masculine pulling into the feminine station, right, in a sexual sense. But here they're showing you the opposite because they both flow both ways. Here where the as the golden white compassionate light meets the rainbow bridge, taking turns as the divine masculine and the divine feminine within each of us, as the masculine love train pulls into the feminine station of movement and stillness, or just in the middle, which then becomes slow sensuality in the middle. No passive or aggressive interplay polarity here, but rather interpole, meeting in the middle, a meeting of the heart minds with the electromagnetic grid, or M grid, or of Amana, which is the Pleiadian term for God in a she sense, and the untying of the karmic knots as the twin flame gate holders at 1208, which is the hanging man and the dance. The Vesica Pisces, which came up yesterday, and that diamond light arcing at the station, as I explained yesterday, because the circles may not even be circles. They may actually be diamonds, but each point of the diamond is arcing to the next point, causing it to be an arc, making a circle around the diamond. And you can go back to the Metatron read from yesterday if you want to check that information out. But the two diamonds coming together is that heart to heart, or the Vesica Pisces circles coming together and overlapping in the middle, becoming that almond shape, right, which is the fish, or the petal of the flower of life, overlapping at the center point, toroidal field, because remember the toroidal field is two circles like an apple with the core in the middle, so the circles are not overlapped. But here the two circles in the Vesica Pisces are overlapped, then become the flower of life, then become that fish or almond shape. Whereas the toroidal field is the moment before the circles touch, right? Because it creates this tension of that moment before where the two circles almost touch, and then it explodes with that hieros gamos energy. So as the two circles are trying to come together, just like the sperm trying to come into the egg, the two circles coming together, it doesn't always click, right? Not all the sperms get into the egg. But when you have just the right point, or the right softened point, like the crown and the head, when it's just the right key or the code to get into the safe, to open the lock, the sperm gets in, or the circles click, and then they mesh together and lock as one, and then they never come apart again. Spirit's connecting with me because they want you to understand this energy of the push and pull between the twins, which is the quantum energy. So when you hit just that right combination, the lock clicks and opens, and then it closes again to keep the contents safe. The circle of trust. Actually, not necessarily a circle, but a diamond of light. Ashes to ashes, or in Pleiadian, bright light to bright light. And that's according to Elena Denon. If you've never watched her channel, you can check that out. Let me just move this a little bit so it's more straight. Sorry you can't see all the cards, but I think I have most of it in there. This is the card you can't see right here. Just want so you can see it. Is the very much shaman energy of the red and root chakra, which is 55, which is the truth, the Excalibur energy. Okay, so that was this placement right here. And and I guess I ended up pulling up that card because I was just talking about ashes to ashes, dust to dust, which is very much of the earth and the native energy of the humans very connected to the earth. So ashes to ashes was coming up as ashes. Ashes is as he's, and then ashes is as he's, a she's, and then dust is D-U-S and then T, and then D-U-S-T, and S-T is the street or path, was coming up as this. And this was at 12:21, by the way. And as I was doing all the definitions of the word, the smaller words broken down, evergreen came up at the end there, and that was right at 12:21 when I went into writing down this sentence of what the message was. And then the gnat came in, which is unforgettable again. So that was significant as well. Evergreen, and evergreen is a word that's in my song, Christ, O Sophia. And that line has to do with being evergreen but never seen, the divine feminine energy. And this was at 12:21 when the gnat showed up, the gnat showed up, and was triggering unforgettable. You are seen. You are unforgettable. And I'm just getting that message now. So ashes to ashes, dust to dust translates as he's a she's, and the duty to toggle up, or too intimate in a tree, a shower, or box, as the box came up yesterday, the cube of trying to fit those circles into the box. The crazy, roaring, and boldly enterprising, in time out, to use, to give, to do, to walk, smooth, perform, dance, name, swell, starve, and go black, which means no color or detached, the arch and the bow, the house as one, you, evergreen, on path. Unforgettable, that's what you are. So the words from Unforgettable are unforgettable, though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me, how the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more. And that's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. And of course, that's Nat King Cole. And I usually use AZ lyrics because there's no interruptions in trying to get to the lyrics. And also for definitions, I use Wiktionary all the time, so you should know that as well. And then when I was writing down the lyrics for Unforgettable, I was connecting major at 12:29, which is the Hanging Man and the Three of Wands, being present in the moment to your gifts. And then at 12:30 of the Hangman and the Union, coming back to the read of detaching from the drama of the 37, which is the King of Cups. But when they're reversed and they have conditions of love, or are detached from love, or over-emotional, or being depressed, or alcoholic energies here, calling the King of Cups to look up as the sun's rays reach out to you. Family here for self-satisfaction in the circles of life, in bridging and arcing that diamond, or turning the squares, an eighth a turn to become that diamond, turning the square on their ear, to hear the call of the crazy eight dance, of the two eights dancing side by side between their own masculine and feminine, and then falling into the infinity as one, infinitum, in the 12:12 golden gate, or heaven on earth. The ram gate of 4:4 gets you going. The lion gate of 8:8 schools you, and the centaur golden gate invites you at 12:12 from the shaman roots of truth and peace, of empowerment, of teepees and pipes, or the toilet paper that was so coveted this past couple of years, and those pipes that need to get cleared, and the importance of clearing your pipes each day, in the collective awakening or flowering of life of Terra Gaia and the Knight of Wands, who's inspired to move and then stop to review their experience in Akashic Records at 12:39, which is the hanging out with the Knight of Cups. And then at 12:41, which is then the Ace of Cups, of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, to set your boundaries daily, which are coming up here as patience and balance, because if you have a high vibration perpetually with nature, that's all the protection you need. But since we're human and sometimes our vibration may dip down at times, make sure that you set your boundaries each day with patience and balance and blending back and forth to raise your vibration. And remember your key, monk, before you leave the house: chasing the sun, under overpasses and through mountain passes, or bridges and castles. The King of Wands, that man of passion, needs balancing now and then when they're in duality and they get too passionate about something. The warrior of light, diving deep in union with self, finding the needle in the haystack, is easier at night, where the light meets dark under the silvery moon. But upon closer look, there's a purple ring that glows upon everything. After digging for silver and swords of the chakra system and union within, it's time out needed for the fool's gold, the light to dark periwinkle, the violet, the lilac, the lavender. That's rainbows around the sun during the day, and the pink, peach, and golden compassion at sunset. When all the world's asleep, it's easier for the ancestors to come in. There's less interference. Remember that the arcs are actually full circles, jumping from point to point or station to station until you shift the track. And this was at 12:57, which is the hanging man and the separation or the disappointment. So remember that the rainbow that you see in the sky is not an arc. It's actually a full circle. You just can't see the other half of the circle going through the earth. And so remember that those arcs are actually full circles jumping from point to point on the diamond within the circle, the square within the circle, or station to station until you shift the track to go in a new direction. So it's not necessarily the circle inside the square or the ball in the box. It's about the diamond in the circle and those jumping arcs. The underlying energy of the heart, the body, and the light body stretches to release that energy and keep yourself healthy. The first column is about the mother calling all home for dinner, the dinner call, calling the sun home. Mother Gaia and Father Central Sun and his multiple rays or suns, and Mother Gaia's many flowers or roses and Phillies and Delphis or Philadelphia for brotherly and sisterly love, as the mother must let go and hold space as the Sun and Mary Magdalene become two as one. The second column of the air that we breathe, the wind or the ocean breeze and the wings and rainbows in the diamond light. If not fractured, you could never have been a rainbow that you see. To the ethers. And you notice you never could have been a rainbow because you only see a rainbow because the light goes through something that fractures the light, okay? So if you were never fractured, you would never seen this rainbow. And to the ethers, the sky, the land bridge to the electromagnetic grid in the ether, which is ash and then THER, to sharpen the bright light, which ash is bright light and Pleiadian, to sharpen the bright light's precision cuts. The master diamond cutter. And remember when I had my meditation about the stone telling me how painful it was, that the worst part of it was being polished at the end, because the stone can feel it too, right? It's the wounds of the stone. So here it was coming up as the master diamond cutter with precision light to make the hurt as little as possible. And here Lucy in the Sky with Diamond comes up again with the L of the Elohim, the U of you, the C of what you see at the Y in the road, is where all roads lead home at 0 point or dinner time. And then I was getting again that picture of the two diamonds coming together of the Vesica Pisces. So instead of circles, the two diamonds overlapping with the diamond in the middle. And here what was coming up is, remember the diamond is the two triangles, right? So the masculine pyramid on top, the feminine pyramid on the bottom, and they become the diamond. But it's also like, the paper mouths that you make that look like diamonds as you make them go open and close. That's the energy that's coming up here too, because yesterday the diamond was coming up as the mouth, right? The upper and lower jaw that opens and closes, right? The diamond that opens and closes. And so that was coming up here as the two diamonds that are overlapped from center to center, making another diamond in the middle. But what the diamond in the middle was coming up as was not only the third eye, which everyone talks about all the time, but not the fourth eye. So what they were telling me today, which has come up in my information before, is that the third eye is associated with our being able to see visually, right? But the fourth eye is connected to the throat chakra and the pituitary gland. When I first was tapping into that kind of energy a couple years ago, I was getting that direct connect from the pituitary down the throat line, where that fourth eye is kind of like in the location of the back of the neck, connected to the throat chakra. And then there was something I'd found, an energy line where the pineal gland actually has a direct connect to the heart as far as the third eye. So this upper triangle, which is usually the masculine energy, was coming up as the 3, though, which is usually the Empress or the feminine energy, and the lower triangle was coming up as the 4 or the Emperor, which is usually the masculine energy, but the upside down triangle is the feminine. But it was coming up as the third eye and the fourth eye because each divine masculine, divine feminine joined together, both upper and lower jaw, or the third eye pineal eyes and the fourth eye pituitary throat coming together, and I'm getting like the ears, nose, and throat doctor, right? Because the ears, nose, and throat all come together in the sinuses, right? And then you have, that's all like one unit, and then you have the eye section above that. So when the divine feminine at 114, and also, by the way, I was getting that number is very significant, 114. 1 is the magician, 14 is the angelic realm of that higher love and the magician embodiment of Hieros Gamos here. So when the divine feminine integrates the divine masculine part of their third eye, or the warrior, right? There's a lot of starseeds out there who are doing warrior work out in the realms. As the feminine integrates the divine masculine side of the third eye, and the divine masculine integrates the divine feminine side of the fourth eye, or the inner knowing of the voice or speaking their truth, the safe then opens and the diamonds can latch. The gears shift into place and the code is cracked. Lucy is El, the Elohim. You see the Y in the road. In the sky with diamonds. Or diamonds is 2 almonds. Or petals. Or fish. And the way it was coming up, because Elohim is ELO, him, or the Electric Light Orchestra hymn that you see at 0 point field in the sky with diamonds, which is 2 almonds or petals or fish or eyes or the propeller, because if 2 circles together like the infinity symbol, and the circles are actually diamonds with arcs, then there are points or stations where the sine wave shifts direction back and forth. So instead of the infinity 8, it's actually like you would normally see the Kundalini lines, crossing each other. They're more almond shape. And that is why the eyes are not circles, but actually almond shape. The 8 may be symbolic of an ending, but the energy never stays the same in circles of friends. It eventually always expands, like the Kundalini rising from station to station, back and forth, weaving in and out, back and forth, like the sine wave, the heartbeat. Doing it simultaneously in both directions at the same time at 0 point field. At 127 here with magician and the ace of wands, that third energy. And then the third column here is the path of changes, that the path changes from the castle and the cloud to the road and the family tree, to the compassion of your ancestors, to the circle egg that you sit in when you're disconnected from source. Just break the cycle. Shift into a different direction is all. Follow your bliss was the message here at 1:30 with the magician embodiment and the 30 of union. And to rise and be love. Bye.